Here's the thing. The fastest growing companies in the world, they're small businesses.
I didn't start a company to become a CEO. You wake up one day and say, I see a problem and I want to fix it.
And it's this path, mile to mile to mile to mile. You don't get to mile 26 before you run mile 1.
I'm a builder and I recognize that myself. I'm not an operator. I don't want to operate. I don't like operating. And so I hire operators around me.
We should find some way to do this in a more scalable fashion because our approach has always been about speed.
Nothing in our company is not in the cloud, not secured, and not processed back.
I want to create a place where I would like to work, even if I wasn't the founder, because they do care about each other and they build relationships. They are going to care about the work.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fastest Growing Companies podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ronzio, founder and CEO of Trainual. This is just a quick introduction to say what this podcast is all about. Now, we had this idea probably about a year ago when we were seeing all of these awards pop up for companies with revenue that was just scaling to massive heights. And so their revenue numbers get published and they stand on podiums and give speeches and get these awards. But I thought, what happens behind the scenes at these companies? Not just why their revenue is growing, but how are their teams growing? How are they shifting responsibilities? What are the uncomfortable patches that they had to push through that so many of us struggle to deal with in our businesses? And so that's what we really wanted to dig into in these episodes. So what you're going to hear in this series is me interview one-on-one some of the CEOs and founders of the fastest growing companies, as the title suggests, but they'll talk about the times that they thought they might not make it. They'll talk about who their first 2 or 3 or 4 hires were, what that little team looked like when they were 5 people before they were hundreds of people. They'll talk about the uncomfortable or the difficult parts of their growth where they had to learn to give up some responsibilities that they were maybe even good at. You know, giving up the things you're good at sometimes is the hardest part. And you'll get to hear firsthand how they made it through those challenges, how their teams grew, and how their role in the business has changed today. So hopefully, as you're growing your company, you can use this kind of like we say as a playbook of sorts to cut some corners and get some shortcuts by not making the same mistakes that these founders have made. So enjoy these episodes because these are some of the best conversations I've had. They are people that I'm learning a lot from, that I've started to follow on social media. Some of them I've become customers of. Some of them I was customers of for years before interviewing them on this podcast. So there will be brands that you recognize, and I highly recommend connecting with each of these people. Enjoy it. You're going to learn a lot.